Are you interested in setting up an automated webinar for your business? If so, this video is going to be for you, because here we are going to be setting up an automated webinar funnel with EverWebinar. So I have explored quite a few of these automated webinar solutions, and based on my research, it turned out that EverWebinar is actually the top solution over here. And it's actually a pretty cool company. They also have Kartra and Webinar Jam. So Webinar Jam is more for live webinars, but you can connect it to EverWebinar, which has automated webinars. And Kartra is like this all-in-one online marketing solution where you have email marketing and payments and everything else. Okay, so let's just, I will walk you step by step through this whole process. So I have just signed up for EverWebinar, and this is like the welcome page. Okay, you can even follow along with me if you want. There is a 14-day free trial, so I will include that in the link below. And once you sign up, you have this welcome page over here. They give you all of this really important information. You'll get emails with information where you can just sign up, create your account, etc. But you also get some really cool bonuses. There is this whole bonus package, and there is this automating your webinar checklist. So let's just breeze through it, and we will land over here in the Webinar Jam, and we will be setting up the webinar right away. So you get this new user checklist. So 9 steps to automating your webinar. I'm not going to go through all of these right now. Besides, these are like bonuses. I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what you will get. Here you will have the ultimate webinar template, sample webinar marketing plan, but in some other form, 40 ways to fill a webinar, 17 ways to increase conversions, and 12 webinar secrets that even the experts forgot. So can you feel it? This is like the really kind of cool, old school direct marketing culture that I'm sensing here. My spider sense is sensing it. Then 6 fast ways webinars can grow your business without selling anything. And the ultimate webinar template, the surefire way to explode webinar profits using a framework that works. Okay, so these are like the bonuses that you get. And then when you land in EverWebinar, you just get this kind of welcome screen, and they will give you a quick overview. Okay, so start here to access your existing webinars or create new ones. So next, then we have analytics and registrants allows you to check webinar metrics and insights in order to make quick informed decisions about your users. And then learn how to use EverWebinar in your training session. If you need help, we are here for you. Okay, so that's great. And then become a part of our Facebook community, and let's discuss the latest webinar tactics and insights. For any question, contact our fully trained agents. Okay, so there's a lot of support here. You have a lot of bonuses. Let's just check this training package over here. We have the knowledge base. So about your account and settings using Webinar Jam and EverWebinar, news and events, and developer AI, because we are going to be connecting EverWebinar with some really cool email marketing software like ActiveCampaign. Okay, and then we have Webinar Jam and EverWebinar So you have all of this information here. Now it's pretty huge, this knowledge database. So it would be cool to check it out, but we are not going to do that, right? Like, who would want to go through training? If you are fluent in just digital marketing, I think we will be able to just create a webinar very quickly. So if you go to home, you can also access Webinar Jam. But over here, you can just add a webinar. Then we have these analytics, registrants. So I guess analytics will be available, yeah, once we actually have created some kind of a webinar. Okay, so let's just get started, right? Webinars. So let's just add a webinar. And over here we have webinar configuration. Yes, and the really cool thing is that with EverWebinar, you can actually create not only automated webinars, but just-in-time webinars. So they have really high attendance rates, like even 80 or 90%. So that's why we are using it. And it also allows you to create this live webinar kind of interaction and host your webinar in many different languages. So the interface always looks really great. Okay, so we have webinar configuration, configure your basic webinar settings. So then next, then we have webinar registration, how your user will register and what communication will they receive. And finally, on air, prepare the settings and experience of your attendees. And then post-webinar. Okay, so this is like this kind of easy process that you go through like one by one. And at the end, your webinar is ready. Okay, so here's what's going on. First, we need to source a video. So either an external video file or previous webinar Jam live session. So I haven't been using Webinar Jam, so just an external file. And over here, we need a URL to your video file. You can get it from as an MP4, YouTube, or Vimeo. So over here, we have this test webinar on Vimeo. And to just include it here, in the EverWebinar, you just need to click on these three dots and over here, video file links. But I think, yeah, and then you can just select even Ultra HD, like 4K, depends on the format, but usually probably HD is going to be just fine. Or you can just do it with YouTube very easily. And then you just paste it here, basic settings. So let's say digital marketing webinar. Okay, how to start your career in digital marketing. Okay, and you can create a webinar thumbnail, but we are going to skip that for now. You have ideal dimensions over here. Then webinar language. You have quite a few languages to choose from. So we will choose Polish because why not? I'm based in Poland. Some of our webinar will be created in Polish. So let's just see how this works. But of course, by default, it's in English. So next, then webinar schedules. So we already have uploaded the whole thing. Now, what's next? Like, when are we going to be serving our webinar? So let's say that we want to choose that famous just-in-time option. So this feature mimics a scenario where the registrant arrives to the registration page just a few minutes before the webinar is about to start. So this is really cool. And the next available session is just going to be available every 15, 30, 45 minutes or at an hour. Okay, and hide nighttime schedules because we want to still mimic that live webinar performance. Okay, and you have displayed schedules over here. So display the next 3 immediate available schedules. You can just select whatever you want based on like the psychology of the webinar registration that you want to create. And then you can block short-term registrants and block holidays. Some of these main holidays will be added here already. Okay, so save. So just in-time webinar. Next. Then we have the registration page, design, registration form fields, free registration versus paid registration, new registration notification, and password protection. Okay, so we can choose from these templates that they have here, and the simpler the better in this case. And the really great thing is that you have split testing over here. So especially if you are just running ads to to your webinar, this is going to be extremely helpful. And then you can just either preview, so you can see that it's like this very simple registration page, but it's going to load quickly, and you can point direct traffic to it from social media, YouTube, Google, or whatever, and it's going to have a pretty high registration rate. So you have registration bubble, bar, bubble, button, embedded form, right? So then you can just click on Launch Builder. Okay, registration form fields. So just first name and email. And these will be mandatory. Then free registration or paid registration. So we will be selling stuff during the webinar, so we are not going to be charging for the webinar. And new registration notification. You can just get an email when an attendee registers to a webinar. So we will just skip that for now. And no password needed. Okay, so next. Then we are in the notifications. So your email gateway. So you can just choose EverWebinar mail or just your own autoresponder. So that we would be doing that with ActiveCampaign, but it needs some extra setup. So we will just skip it for now. And reminder notifications. So again, here you can set up all of these emails right within EverWebinar, but the extra setup is going to take a little bit more time, so we will skip that for now. Then you have this email autoresponder integration, so we would be integrating it with ActiveCampaign, but as you can see, there are some other really cool tools that you can integrate it with. For sure, I've been using ConvertKit, which is really great. GetResponse is really great. Aweber, for sure. MailChimp. Also, I haven't been using some of these other ones, but okay. And third-party tracking systems. So let's say you can embed Google Analytics, Facebook ads tracking, etc. to make this whole webinar like the tracking even better. So then next, then you have default versus custom confirmation page. Okay, so you have this just really simple default confirmation page, or you can create your custom page and then you just include your own URL. But let's say with the default one, then you have some surveys that you can be running, which is also cool. And you have this thank you page design. So you can also just set it up however you want. And then next. And here you have, once you are live, you have some other cool settings. So for example, autoplay. So probably you should disable autoplay, or you can enable autoplay but muted. And you can just have a splash screen when it says just unmute it. And you have this image and text that you can display. And then a countdown page design. So this is like the room where you are waiting for the webinar. Waiting room. Exactly, waiting room. So you can customize that as well. You have some live content, but you need to create your first event, right? So this is actually pretty cool. You can like display a poll, file sharing, announcement, sticky message, product offer, live sale announcement, or whatever. So you can basically have these great calls to action. Let's just see product offer really fast, right? So you have this headline, add to cart, button, and the button link. So you can sell right within the webinar, which is amazingly convenient. Okay, and then you have live chat box. So again, we are creating this really cool, we mimic the live experience. So you can enable live chat and pre-configure comment lines to roll in as if the event was live. Right, so you can just configure all of that here, or display a question box. Okay, but we will disable it for now. And the really cool thing is that the webinar can be fully automated and it can be rolling, but somebody can still be just sitting there and answering questions live. So this is pretty cool. And display number of attendees. So here we have don't display attendee count or actual real attendees in the room, fixed simulated number of attendees or dynamic simulated number of attendees. Okay. And then we click next. And we have this webinar replay recording. So do not allow access to the replay page is option number 1. And you have, yes, allow access to the replay page. You will be able to send your attendees to the replay room to watch the recordings of your live session. Okay, so for now, we will just select no. And congratulations, your webinar has been successfully created. Okay, and over here you have links once it has been created. So here's the link to the registration page and you can just share it. You have attendees and replay, but we would have to select it like before. And you can send up to 500 emails during your trial period because I'm still on a free trial, but that's okay. So that is the thing here. And let me just see, for example, right now, we have this digital marketing webinar. Yes. And over here, you can still have edit, clone, delete, advanced, or log. So with advanced, you have goal tracking, one-click registration, API, custom registration, and you can also just click on edit and edit all of these settings over here, which is great. And finally, you can clone the webinar. So if you have the same settings for another webinar that you want to run, you would just clone it and just replace the video and maybe some of these chat messages, and you are ready to go. Okay, so we have the clone ready here. So in just a couple of minutes, you can set up a really great webinar that will be automated, that will be running 24/7 and making you money while you can just focus on driving traffic to this registration page and split testing it and making sure that you have a positive ROI on your webinar experience. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Maybe it was a little bit too long, but I don't really care. I just wanted to show you the full thing so you understand like all of the options that are available. So that was that, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Enjoy.